Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the Hope Land Sensei, like is Makazal from Trinidad Camp. Just want to do a little edification and a little exhorting for the elect's sake. Alright. So I'll get straight into it. This is Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. It says, For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love which ye have shewed towards his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. So the work that we do in the Most High is not unrighteous to forget the work that we're putting in. Alright, but we have to show it unto the end. Now the labor of love which we minister unto his name is unto the saints. When we put up videos on YouTube, we minister unto the saints of the Most High. If we have 5 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, guess what? Those are our fruits that the Most High bless us with. So then therefore we have a duty to feed them. We have a duty to put videos up to feed the flock. When we go out on the highways and byways, we have a duty to go out and edify through the name and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that is the labor. Alright? When we comfort one another, when we reproof one another, that is a labor of love. All that becomes part of the work. So the Most High is not, unrighteous to forget what we did. We will, receive salvation at the end if we hold fast unto this truth. Alright? So sometimes Satan might jump on you, and then you might come to the camp. You might want to do bare minimum. You might just want to hold signs. You don't want to speak. Sometimes you come to the camp, sometimes you don't. You don't want to do videos. Alright? You always have an excuse. When the brothers getting together, you don't want to be there. You always have an excuse not to be there. Guess what? That is Satan plaguing your mind. Alright? That is Satan plaguing your minds. We have a duty to preach this word. Alright? We have a duty to preach this word. So you need to get out of that spirit where you want to do bare minimum in the ministry. The scripture says, He that soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly. Alright? But he that soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully. So you have to get in that spirit where we be burning for the Lord, and that the word don't become a burden to us. You can't let this truth be a burden. You can't let the truth become a burden, because it wasn't a burden for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to wake us up and give us his name. It wasn't a burden. It wasn't a burden for Yahweh Shai to come down here and be subjected to vanity pursuant to Romans chapter 8 verse 20, to die for our sins. It wasn't a burden. So no, it shouldn't be a burden for us to push this truth. Alright, stop coming to the camp and you're just there, you just want to hold posts. When you know you are a speaker, you're a good reader, you just want to just stand and hold posts. You don't want to do your videos, you don't want to be around the brotherhood. Hey, stop doing that, because in the time of salvation, you're going to want that same salvation. So the scripture that I read over verse 11, it says, And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. So the same diligence that you were showing when you just came in, you have to show that same diligence and even greater unto the end. Alright, so you have to pray and fast that the Most High take that lazy spirit or that wicked spirit off of you that when you wanting to labor. Alright, you have to pray that the Most High take that spirit off of you. Hey, talk to our brother, and the brother might be able to help you for whatever you're going through. Alright, this is 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 2. It says, Feed the flock which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. So yes, we're supposed to do this thing willingly. Alright, not like it's a burden. And not for money, not doing it for money's sake, but of a ready mind. Like you're always ready to do the will I desire to do thy will, as the scripture said. And as I said, the subscribers that you have on your page, they are your fruits. All right? You have a duty to feed them. So you have to constantly be putting videos up. Because if the scripture said the ass know it is owner and the ox is master's crib, they go to their master's crib because that is where they find food. So now if the sheep coming to your crib for food and there's no food, guess what? They're gonna stray. And you're gonna be guilty of scattering the Lord's flock because they're not feeding the flock. That's where the scripture said, feed the flock that is among you. Alright, and jump down to verse 4, it says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. So we're gonna be rewarded, but we have to hold fast unto the end. Feed the flock. Alright, do the works of an evangelist. Go out on the highways with a ready mind, not like it's a burden. Alright, because if you're doing this thing as a burden, guess what? Most High not gonna reward you. You have to do this thing willingly. Alright. The final precept here. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 17. It says, if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. So yeah, if you do this thing willingly, then you have a reward. Then you're going to receive the hope of salvation and the kingdom. Alright, because that is what we're seeking after. Salvation. But when you're acting as though this thing becomes 1,000 pounds or a ton on your shoulders, then guess what? You're not doing this thing willingly. Alright? Because the scripture said, take my burden, my burden is easy and my yoke is light. So the Lord ain't gonna lay a ton on your shoulders. Alright, so stop acting as though he did. He says, but if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. So whether or not you're doing this thing willingly or not, you still have to do the works because the dispensation of the gospel still laid on you. But guess what? The scripture said you're only going to be crowned if you strive lawfully. Alright? You're only going to be crowned if you strive lawfully. So you have to do this thing with a ready mind. Don't let this word be a burden unto you. Alright? So with that, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, I want to give double honors to the apostles of greatness so not real well. Salutations to the men of the hope and saints. This is Makazar saying Shalom.